I think it's okay if you have reached a point in your life that you re-observe your childhood, or let's broaden this even more. When you re-observe everything you once knew. Like, I'm 28 and I live in Denver, Colorado, out of my car. Possibly might be moving up to the Pacific Northwest in about a year. And then from there, who knows? So this is what I consider, even though I'm aware that it's all one life, but because of perception, I always judge things based on where I sit and where my eyes view from. So from my perspective, the sun rises and sets because I'm a human on Earth. But the sun is not rising anywhere and it's not setting anywhere. It's just floating out in space. And maybe floating is not the best word. It's out there existing in space in its proper placement in relation to everything else around it due to density and gravity and placement and all that. So when we reevaluate everything we once knew, to me it's a sphere. You have to outgrow the sphere of everything you once know and explore into the unknown. I think it's safe to really it's okay to not like some people, to realize even though their heart wasn't in it, it may not have been the best method they took at their relationship with me, or how they treated me, or how they looked at me, or you in this case. And I don't know where exactly that awakening happened, but I have recognized, and I just didn't know how to address this until about right now. And I just woke up. It's 6:19 a.m. in Colorado during February, coming up to March. So 37 degrees, snow everywhere, possibly more snow coming. You know, I mean, way better than Oklahoma, but for Colorado, man, February and March have been the most challenging months living-wise. Living in my car when it's this cold and with the snow everywhere, so. But anyways, my point is, and I'm sorry that I dragged these out, but I think it's good for you to hear someone complete their thoughts, because that's my whole point, is broadcasting normal human activity. Not fabricated activity that we see on the TV. Not trying to do something that I hear on the radio. I don't even listen to pop songs anymore. I can't handle that level of just, ugh. That level of look at me, this is me, talk to me, think of me, do me. And at some point in that awakening, outgrowing that sphere, I just totally let go of thinking that happiness for me is tied to a woman and tied to a family. Probably because I got my son taken away from me in court. Or in that whole situation, there was not made available a worthwhile option for me to have a relationship with my own kid that came from my sperm. And when I realized the courts were sided with the women, and women can bait and switch you and basically do whatever they want emotionally and somehow get away with it in today's society because life is so easy, I just decided it's best to go my own way. Now, I went MGTOW before I recognized that I went MGTOW, because I was just looking for peace and quiet. I was just like, I just want to have a peaceful life. I didn't recognize all of this stress and anxiety and roles that I would have to play by being a husband, and roles I would have to play with her family. And I was just thinking about that all my life. I was like, man, I don't want to commit all the energy of my life to a relationship. I was hoping for a relationship along the way of me living my best life. And I realized that wasn't kind of going to work with how I was doing it. So I just dropped all that together. So this is where I kind of sum it all up. There's got to be a point in your life where you tried sincerely hard enough to do what you thought you wanted to figure out what you really want. And I personally found that through pain. And I think that's the only way. Pain, or it's gonna cost you losing something that you really value, I think, for you to fully emerge. Not even emerge. Yeah, no, yeah, you're emerging out of that sphere of what you once knew. And I think that's just the that's your trial into adulthood, at least as a millennial. So chew on that. I'm chewing on that. And the reason I share this part is because every video that I talk about, every time I make a point, it's coming from being aware of my former sphere and my new sphere of life. So the highest in my former sphere is not even as good as the lowest in this current sphere of understanding of life, of awareness. So if I ever talk and it doesn't make sense, or you may be wondering, well, where do you get to that point? Well, for me, it came through pain. So I'm not saying go run after pain, but what I am saying is you have to develop in yourself the vulnerability to sincerely try for something that you want. And a lot of people avoid this because they're afraid to lose. So develop courage and go after it. And in that midst, you may hit the lottery, and what you want to go after right now in your young sphere may be what you really want, but it also there's a good chance that it's not what you want. But going after it with honesty, sincerity, and really trying, losing is only a side that you really tried. That's why it's valuable. Go back and watch my video called The Value of Losing, and now tie these two together and see if that makes more sense. So that's all I gotta say. From Denver, Colorado, happy Thursday.